We moved here for them. And you sought their counsel before we bought this house, I said, flinging a hand toward the modest home behind me. And they encouraged us to buy. Said we should absolutely invest in Duluth. Did you remind them of that? I suspect he answered, but the words bounced off the white static in my head. What I kept landing on was that this wasn't just wrong, it was illogical. And if I could simply pile up enough reasonable facts, it would set everything back where it was, where it should be. The fish swimming in his office, the tie straight around his collar, Jason tucked behind his hospital-issued PC. Do they understand what we've been through for this job? That our Minneapolis house is still unsold? That we lived in a rented rectory where parishioners used our bathroom? And, I swallowed, everything I gave up? It was thoughts of these last 2 years and my inability to find real work that broke me into tears. I stopped flailing long enough for Jason to tuck in my arms and pull me into his chest. The chives fell on my sandaled feet. Over the next day, we oscillated between who was comforting whom, as one of us would take point, directly facing this untenable situation, while the other would draft behind, shouting out platitudes of encouragement. It'll all work out. Everything happens for a reason. The reality was, we still had an unsold house in the cities, and this new little home on Duluth's hillside. Our friend Paul playfully called us land barons, which we all know is fancy talk for scared multiple mortgage holders. It wasn't too hard to imagine a scenario in which we lost everything. In fact, we seemed well on our way. As unflattering as it is to admit, I was feeling sorry for myself. But had I known what was ahead, I would have employed the oft-said maxim of my mother-in-law, Mimi, be grateful for the problems you have. The next day, we received a call that obscured all employment worries and set our lives in a slingshot pointed to Asia. Jason's younger brother, Brian, an expat living in Cambodia, had suffered a severe drug overdose and lay in a coma in Phnom Penh, half a planet away. And it was there that a medical team, impatient to clear the bed, was eager to pull life support. This triggered a flurry of our own calls to the State Department, the U.S. Consulate, and 2 U.S. Senators' offices to expedite Jason's lapsed passport. In the 3 hours it took Jason to drive to the Twin Cities and meet up with Mimi, I was part of an online telephone-attached team of relatives who secured travel papers and booked their flights. The whole event sparkled with a breathless sort of frantic. As Jason hastily exited the continent, he'd left a few loose ends, like the chicken coop. While the mostly completed structure now housed our small urban flock of 5 birds, there was no fenced-in run yet, no place for them to exit their shelter via a small doggy door to a penned-in area of outdoors. What this meant was that every morning, the kids and I would have to open the coop door, scoop up birds, some willing, some not, and place them into a chicken tractor. Okay, stop. That image in your head of a bird in the cab of a John Deere, scratch that. A chicken tractor is nothing more than a portable box. Ours was 5 feet long, 2 feet tall, and 3 feet wide, covered with chicken wire. It has no floor for ground access. Its name has nothing to do with the structure, but rather the tractor-like function performed by the birds themselves. Inside, as chickens forage for grasses, bugs, and seeds, they dig, weed, and fertilize the land as they go, all tasks modern tractors perform. While some chicken tractors are on wheels, ours got hand-lugged to different parts of our city lawn, which Jason endearingly called pasture. It was a labor-intensive way to do things. Peeling back the metal flap on top.